It was a sunlit morning in Brenton Woods as Thomas drove his patrol car during his regular duty hours. All of a sudden, he was compelled to hold onto the steering stiffly and stop his car. Dozens of drivers and motorists had to do the same as the dense traffic came to a halt. An enormous black bear had been spotted on the open road, and the animal refused to step aside. As a juvenile, Thomas was deeply fascinated by high-speed car chases. Upon returning home from school every evening, he would turn on the news to entertain himself with current traffic pursuit scenes. The part where the suspects were caught by the law enforcement particularly interested Thomas. Due to his consistent obsession with speedy cars, Owens' mother often stayed concerned and hence made attempts to ensure her son drove safely every time. When Thomas turned 16, before handing him the keys of his father's truck, his mother warned him, "We reside in a small town, Thomas. If you are inattentive or hasty while driving, or if you drive over the speed limit, it will come to our notice. Consequently, you will not be allowed to drive the truck next time." Owens understood the warning well, and being a responsible teen, he was well aware of how risky speedy cars can actually be. Thomas used the same truck to provide pick and drop to some of his schoolmates and to drive to the local grocery store where he worked. One day, however, an unforeseen incident occurred that completely changed his perspective regarding high-speed chases. He returned home to find out that his mother's car was missing, and the fact that his mother was hurt in a hit-and-run car accident. Shocked and dejected, he stayed next to her until she completely recovered. Subsequently, Thomas learned an extremely crucial lesson, which paved a path towards a career choice as well. After graduating from high school, all of his batchmates had several aspirations regarding their careers. However, Thomas opted for a slightly unique path and was determined to earn the title of a state cop one day. For several years, he stayed under training and learned about traffic regulations and the state vehicle laws of New Hampshire. Throughout his career, he had become a helping hand to countless motorists and vehicle passengers. However, the incident that took place in Brenton Woods was something completely unpredictable. Among other inhabitants, the 700 acres of land here was dominated by bear species since they were more than 5,000 in number. Despite being unprepared regarding handling the situation, Thomas decided to step out of his car to get a closer look at the bear amidst the road. This had blocked the traffic, and the visitors driving towards a renowned ski resort were stuck. The residents of Carroll, New Hampshire stayed composed as they took the necessary safety precautions. Still, Thomas wanted to ensure that the bear does not harm anyone. Eventually, he asked the drivers to redirect their vehicles in the opposite direction since the bear seemed to have no intentions of moving aside. That is when he noticed that the bear had 3 young ones on her side of the road, whereas one of the cubs was too feeble to cross the road and had sat down to rest. The mother bear made several attempts, including nudging the cub with her nose and trying to teach it how to walk, but the young one failed to move. Thrilled to see the adorable cubs, Thomas was relishing the sight. However, a few moments later, Thomas was shocked and disappointed to see that the mother bear abandoned the feeble cub and continued walking into the forest with her other offsprings. The cop rushed out of his car and cautiously examined the delicate animal. It was struggling to keep its eyes open and collapsed while getting on its feet. Thomas was sure that the cub needed immediate medical attention. Hence, he drove it to the New Hampshire Fish and Game Center, where the veterinarian inspected the cub. The prognosis was not favorable. Even though the little cub was well fed, it was born premature and was less likely to survive. Upon knowing this, Thomas could comprehend the reason behind the mother bear's tough choice. She could not risk the life of her other 3 offsprings in order to look after the one that was ill. The news regarding Thomas's empathetic rescue became the talk of the town, and soon the state trooper was informed that there was a 5th cub that was lost on the way as well. The F9 units, along with other cops, joined Owens and successfully traced the 5th cub not too far from where the 4th one was found. The cub was rescued, fed, and taken care of by the medical staff at the center. They strived for the cub's survival, and as a result, the little ones showed speedy recovery. The young ones of most animals are known to fall severely ill if their health deteriorates due to loneliness and distress. But the 2 cubs in this case were embraced and showered with limitless love, So they regained strength and began showing positive recovery signs. Thomas Owens ensured that the cubs stayed vigorous and thriving. He intends to make the young ones reunited with the mother bear, and till then, he is delighted to be their caretaker. On his journey to become a state officer, and even after gaining the title, Owens did encounter several memorable events, but this one incident was like no other. With a simple act of kindness, Owens saved the life of 2 animals, setting a remarkable example that was imprinted on the hearts of the people in New Hampshire. Undoubtedly, expressing empathy and compassion towards any living being can be life-saving, and we never know which act of thoughtfulness can bring about a massive change in this world. Thank you for watching. Tap one of the 2 videos on the screen and stay tuned for another engrossing story. Goodbye.